Now, FP2 is where the fun starts. Let's start off with Norris and Piastri. Norris kissed the wall, more than kissed the wall. Wall four, he damaged his car significantly. Norris, after hitting the wall, stated that the he likes pushing it to the limit, and he guessed that he paid the price for pushing it to the limit. Kool-Aid, haven't you seen this pattern with Norris in which he goes all out in free practices, and then in qualifiers, sometimes he makes it, sometimes he doesn't. I think he needs to use Piastri and Verstappen's model of free practices are meant to be for feeling out the track, finding out where danger is, and then slowly increasing your speed. You can't do this in Baku because Baku is like Monaco, there are walls. Free practice is where you're supposed to be able to drive at a slower pace and then make mistakes and not kiss the wall. And then you learn what the problems are with the wind, with the track surface. Then you can go all out when it's qualifying. So I will say this again: Norris is not doing himself any favors by going gung ho early in practices. And when you go gung ho in practices, you're not able to rehearse at a slower speed and learn the track, which is why I think he also has a lot of problems in Q3 when it's time to go all out against everybody under pressure because he hasn't rehearsed at slower speeds to pick up everything. What do you think, Kool-Aid?
Yeah, I think Norris does need to calm down when he's watching this track. It is a fast track, and McLaren are not necessarily as dominant on this kind of track. They can get messed up with the Ferraris and the Red Bull if they do not maintain
Yeah,
the
you know why? Because they don't
competitiveness
have as
on
much
the
grip because it's a low downforce track. So
yeah,
they don't have as much grip as they're used to having. Yeah.
exactly. So they do need to be careful that they could get jumped. Um, in respect of Norris, well, this is still practice, so I'm not going to judge them too much.
Oh
I
yeah, but Kool-Aid,
can
here's the
see
point I'm
that
making is that
it's a
Kool-Aid, the
faster
point that I'm making is
teams.
that in practice, this is, for example, like in music, when they tell you you have to play a very difficult piece at high speed, you start off at slow speed so you can master your form and your technique. Then you go higher. So
What
what I'm
was
saying,
that a music teacher? Ta te ta te
yeah,
te ta.
so you
What was
start
that a music teacher in
ta,
secondary school?
Then the later one is da 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 da. So the point I'm making is not the fact that he hit the wall, but by hitting the wall now, he's messed up his whole rhythm for practices. And on top of that, he didn't get enough laps in to learn the tendencies of the track and the car. So it's not so much a matter of him making a mistake or he can still make it up. He's retarded his development over the week, and he's already under pressure because he's 34 points behind Piastri. So what I'm saying is that we're not just looking at this as an isolated case. We're looking at this as Norris's methodology in free practices is wrong-headed. Look at Verstappen. Verstappen is back in sixth and seventh. Verstappen came sixth in free practice too, behind Bierman. But we know that Verstappen is learning the track, and this is why he's able to give good feedback and come up with the proper setup later on. I haven't seen either of the McLaren guys this year actually find insights on setup, and also they don't have to worry about doing things like Leclerc. Like Leclerc has to go down, use his gears he needs to downshift to break into high corners. These guys have been smart because they have cars that are so stable that they don't have to do the tricks of driving like Senna. Senna would accelerate, lift off the throttle, sometimes throttle and brake at the same time. So they don't have to drive. But when you get on a track like Baku, where there's braking zones and stuff, where no matter how stable your car is, it can't do it. They're not able to handle. That's why even Norris, Piastri looked unsettled. So do you see what I'm saying? Is that they've relied too much on that car. And Norris is wrong if he thinks he's going to take that car to Baku and be able to push it, and it will do all the dirty work for him in the braking zones and stuff. He's going to have to learn techniques like what Leclerc was doing today. He was using the what is it? Not the throttle. He was using a special braking. He was using the engine to brake going into corners from high speed. So it wasn't just about braking, and it's not just about pressure brakes at a certain point. He's actually using changing gear to brake to compensate for problems with the braking. Do you see what I'm saying? Complex problems like that Norris and Piastri don't know because their car is so good that it does all of that work for them. So, but in this type of track, you're going to have to figure out ways to solve the problems in this track, which involves a lot of braking, accelerating again, and traction. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. And for Norris to just try to push it all out before finding out the tendencies of the track, the surface, and everything like that. When he gets to Q3 now, he's going to be under pressure because he doesn't understand the track. What do you think? Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is this is a fast track, and I do think that Piastri has outperformed Norris on faster
Yeah,
tracks of late. So that's the advantage that Piastri has on Norris in respect to this
but even
particular track.
Piastri kissed the wall too, but he kissed the one that had the softer surface, so it didn't break his tires. So they're both
Yeah,
struggling with this car, and the reason they're struggling with this car is because it's less downforce, and also the track is very. This track involves a lot of braking, decelerating G forces that the car is not used to, and that they're not used to too. So I guess the only point I'm making is that you I think they were both thinking about championship. Even Norris, Piastri was pushing it too much. He said, let me send a message to Norris. Norris, let me go all out. I have to do it. I think they need to relax in free practice a little bit, especially free practice 1, because it's unacceptable, or free practice, even free practice 2. It's unacceptable. Norris has damaged that car. Now they're going to have to fix it all night, and it may not even be the same setup that he had before. It may be some differences. And now in free practice 3, he's going to be behind the learning curve. And also, neither of them, because Piastri also did damage to his car. Neither of them got any long practice time, like long extended laps to see who has the best race pace. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
that's the thing about Formula One. It's like the car is permanently like something in intensive care. You cannot drive it around the track gracefully. You can only drive it hard. So I understand why,
Yeah,
even
but
when
they go
someone is
90%.
driving like that, it does look like
I used
as
to
if
run track.
they're trying.
I used to run track, and you only go 100% once every 4 weeks. What you do is week 1, 90%. Same thing with lifting weights, 80 to 90%. Week 2, 95%. Then week 3, all out. And
Yeah,
then you
but
then you
and then all the other cars with the clean and dirty wind around you will affect the performance of your engine. You don't need to really test that sort of thing when you're in your wind tunnel all alone in
yeah.
Woking
So
or wherever it is that
let's
you're
move
doing
on to the last thing. We'll move on to the last thing. So